since it's another day, billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
It's New Year, New Me, bullshit boy.
And we're back with another episode of Buns and Tubs here with you on the new year. Today is January 2nd. We're in the studio doing an episode live for you.
Back again.
Back. Doing what we do.
Fighting the chest infection for you.
For the last 2 months now.
I don't know. There's something going on with this air. Something.
Bad air.
Conspiracy guy.
I call it miasma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad air.
Just want to move somewhere.
Got warm to a warm, hospitable climate.
Inner Earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Inside the Earth's crust. Before we get started, I think we've got to do a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening to these 100th episode. We've been getting some feedback, and people liked it.
Yeah, glad you liked it. We're here for you. We like to entertain and educate.
We like to hear those things.
Edumatain.
You know? Government shutdown still going on.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them with a big old black floppy dong.
Hasn't changed anything in my life.
No. They're still taking taxes out, too.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
Cocksuckers.
But nah, so we're here, and like I said, thank you all for listening to our 100th episode. We hope you had a happy holidays.
Hopefully you all were safe, you know, didn't have any interaction with law enforcement, perhaps while driving to or from a soiree.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Let me ask a question real quick to you. Just get your opinion on this.
Go ahead.
I saw this a few times the other day on New Year's Eve. People posting and saying that if you left warnings to people, like you posted on Facebook and said, hey, there's a checkpoint here, that you were in fact a piece of shit.
Nah.
Because now you're going to make them take a different route, and then they're going to, crash into a family of people. And
listen, first of all, fuck the government. Fuck violating the Fourth Amendment, stopping everybody on their way, no proof of committing a crime.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is I never, when I hear the term checkpoint, I can't fail but think about
Nazi Germany.
Nazis, you know?
Right.
They liked checkpoints.
Real Nazis, none of that SJW bullshit.
All of the guys protecting the people.
No shit.
They're here for your protection. And there's Toe Beans. She's coming special delivery.
Yeah, great fierce Gatorade.
Like fierce Gatorade.
Did you rob the gas station?
No. I got coffee all over me because somebody left their coffee can.
Cause she pistol whipped somebody with a 38.
Yeah, totally.
Small unmarked bills or I'll blow your fucking head off.
Apple juice to be like, no money.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going in.
Oh, right. Thanks, Toe Beans.
No, but I don't, it shouldn't be a secret to anybody that I've had a run-in or two with the law.
Yeah.
When it comes to those, right? You might have been in court with me the first time that happened, and you saw the sleazy attorney palling up with the judge.
I saw the whole sleazy process go down in front of me.
They were giggling at each other, just having a gay old time.
They might as well have just been jerking each other off,
With my money.
Yeah, with your money.
Yeah.
But they were using your money as lube.
I shouldn't have done what I did, and don't get me wrong. Nobody should operate a motor vehicle under the influence. That's a terrible idea, and I've learned from it. But I'll say this. The government only wanted my money. They didn't care about anything else. Second of all, the 3-day class in lieu of jail time had nothing to do with rehabilitation. Just another money-sucking sound. And the change didn't come until I was ready to change for myself, so...
Yeah, let me ask you this.
Rehabilitation's a lie.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, people still get caught drunk driving, or as our brothers across the pond like to call it, drink driving.
Yeah.
Which, you go ahead and you do you.
Mm-hmm. You still have a queen.
Yeah. Not now, don't.
Sorry.
They got their we got our problems too,
Sometimes the hate leaks out uncontrollably.
we got our problems too. Anyway, but now, the whole concept to me, you would think, well, we create these drunk driving laws to deter people from drunk driving. Listen, it doesn't apparently, shit's been going on for how long now, and it hasn't stopped anybody?
Nah.
So,
I prefer to think, too, if it was more like Scotland. I think it was Scotland we talked about, right? Scotland or Ireland. I don't remember. But one of them, they don't have Dewey laws or OV laws.
Yeah.
You can drive as drunk as you want. But if you hurt somebody, it's murder or attempted murder.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Basically, this is how it breaks down, right? Here's the thing. If someone gets pulled over for drunk driving and they haven't hurt anybody, They haven't hurt a single person. They haven't destroyed any property or anything like that.
Yeah.
All you're really arresting them for is pre-crime.
Right.
You're doing it under the guise that you're stopping them from a later crime that they have yet to commit.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, extrajudicial. Like, it's not.
Right.
It's not real.
No, none of
Basically,
this is real.
yeah.
We've been there before.
I mean, you could be. You know what? I'll say it. You know what? Mad. Mothers gets drunk driving. You know.
Propaganda. Sorry.
You want to come after the Bones and Tubs podcast? You go on. And in fact, you send a representative over to the show and we could talk about what freedom actually means.
Right.
But the thing is, and here's the thing, I could agree with this. Say, for example, like a guy hits somebody with his motor vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Right. And he's completely in the wrong. And they find that he's sober. They're going to charge him with vehicular manslaughter, right? Mm-hmm. I would be okay with this. Say, same scenario, guy hits somebody with his car. It's completely his fault. And just find out he's drunk. Well, it went from a vehicular manslaughter charge to a vehicular homicide charge.
Yeah.
Vehicular murder. Because that's what it is.
You fucked up, Daryl.
Yeah.
You're a very bad man.
Because you did something knowingly that you knew would impair your judgment, and yet you got behind the wheel of a car anyways.
Right.
Same thing with property damage. You know what I mean? Like,
we say all that to say this. We hope none of you had to deal with any of that in this holiday season.
Exactly.
Fresh new 2019. Feels just like 2018. But
Not much has changed.
Priming up for some craziness, though.
I think so, yeah.
Seems to be, anyway. Looks like we got a little, house politics as far as that goes. It's all theater, but they got a Romney out there running his mouth, trying to probably challenge Trump for the Republican nomination.
And we have a first contender out the door on the Democratic side. Old Pocahontas herself.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot.
Has come out the gate. Mm-hmm. It says she's running in 2020.
I saw there was I think from New York, there was an Asian guy supposedly trying to run for president. He wrote the article about himself, saying that he would be the first Asian American president. Like, how gross is that? You wrote your own article talking about how you were going to be the people's champion.
Yeah.
Gross.
He's his own I mean, hey, you can't, I mean, he's his own spokesperson, you know?
A lot of times, though, these people that do these things, and you'll see the same type of stories in the news. They'll be like, so-and-so, they make some veiled reference to them maybe running for president. All that is them testing the algorithm, see how many people respond favorably or not.
Well,
I like to shit on them all.
I saw something earlier today, basically on her newly found website, because she's running in 2020, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. People were championing the fact that on her website, she said it basically has 3 questions. Yes, I'm voting. I would vote for you. No, or maybe, I'm not sure. Right? But then the last one was no, definitely not. And if you click the no, definitely not, it brought you into a whole new fucking flurry of questions as to why you definitely weren't voting for.
Yeah.
And people were like, wow, this is great. She's taking feedback from. That's what they do.
Right.
That's all they do. It's just it's the same thing of like the cold calling people around elections, you know?
I don't know. I'm so tired of it all.
You know what the fucked up part is? We got to deal with this. Like, she's the first, right? Mm-hmm. We got to deal with this shit for 2 fucking years.
I just hope it's... Joe Rogan was talking about it on his podcast. It made me laugh. He's like, nobody stands a chance in this election except for him. Because he's going to be basically like commentating live on Twitter, talking shit about all of them.
Yeah.
Just shooting them all down. Unless
you get like... because some shit happened back in the 70s with, like, I think it was Ted Kennedy going against, Jimmy Carter.
Is that the one that killed the hooker? Ted Kennedy?
She wasn't a hooker.
Come on now.
No, she was a staffer. She, like, worked for Robert Kennedy's staff. Like,
I think she was a hooker.
Probably because they found her and she wasn't wearing any underwear. I don't know.
She was doing hooker work?
I don't know. Say she was doing hooker work. I'm not going to say that. The poor girl died, horribly.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, well.
But if they wore a condom, she'd have been fine.
Well,
Sorry. I don't.
Okay, so.
And we're back.
But no, he tried to run against Jimmy Carter in the Democratic primaries, and it was like Jimmy Carter was the incumbent. Like, normally that's against the grain to, like, run against. If the president. He's already the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Why are you going to try to, like, shake everything up?
Why are you pressing me, bro?
But ultimately he dropped, but still, like, he caused a lot of dissension amongst the ranks for him to do that.
Yeah.
So don't put it out. Don't disregard the fact there couldn't possibly be some Republican contenders that are going to try to go against Trump, because it's more than possible.
No, but maybe it's just me.
I've heard some weird possibilities in the future with this next election, because I've heard like crazy shit, like fucking like centrist tickets and shit like that, like shit that's not party, like Democrat, Republican, or like centrist tickets, like basically because you got parts of the left going too far for people's comfort, and then you have Trump, which speaks for itself,
right?
So then you have people who, I mean, they're Democrats more or less. Although I have heard what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember it. He was the mayor of New York for a while.
Giuliani?
Not Giuliani. He was a Democrat, I think. I can't remember his name. Him and Mitt Romney running on a ticket together. So dude that runs, kind of center to left, and another dude that runs. But you have Romney who like someone would champion as being like what they would consider a true conservative.
Yeah. Because
that's another distinction that's starting to be made, is that there's a difference between like some conservatives and others, some being true conservatives, and like them getting pissed off because like people champion like certain aspects of like the further right as being like the party of Reagan and stuff like that, and then being like, no, Reagan wasn't this far, he was this, and so on and so forth.
It's just, I'm tired of it all already. It's not even started.
Yeah, we got 2 years of this. But like you said, chances are...
Maybe John McCain will escape from Gitmo and he'll run for president.
Maybe, yeah.
Maverick's
back.
Just real quick before we get on to the topic, back to the Q bashing. Long Dong Tong sent me some stuff the other day. I don't remember the name of the channel. I'll post it on the page, though, later. You can check it out if you want. Yeah. Some weird Daddy Bush funeral Q stuff.
Huh.
Just like looked really strange. Kind of implicated the fact that it was all theater. As far as like some of these politicians seemed to have not just a Secret Service escort, but like they were being monitored and had custody of them pretty much. George W. being the prime example.
Yeah.
But I saw a thing earlier. I didn't save it, of course, because I'm not a professional. But John McCain's daughter had posted a picture of his grave or something for New Year's, Christmas, something like that.
Yeah.
She said, insert proper holiday, miss you, Dad, love you. And then said something in Latin that said, don't let the bastards grind you down, was the translation.
Yeah. That's from Handmaid's Tale.
Is it?
Did you remember that?
No.
It's, so like...
So it was on the wall?
Yeah, it's inside the closet there. I can't remember what it is. It's
Why would you put that?
Carbodorum or whatever.
Would you do that if your dad was dead, though? Or, like, would it be more like if your dad was dead and actually in Gitmo?
Yeah, see, I don't know why she would put that for somebody that's already dead.
Right. Dead in air quotes.
Because, I mean, at that point, if he's quote-unquote dead, there's nothing left to grind.
There was some... I
know that's grim, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, you're already dead, bro.
Yeah.
The Bush shit was really interesting, though, because George W. looked really fucking weak and just nervous. Like, his brother Jeb was happy and giggly. Also properly sad, I guess. And Laura was doing her best to just kind of be a president's wife.
Yeah.
And then, as they're taking the body out in the casket, or I should just say the casket, because we don't know there was a body in there.
Yeah.
But Bush is writing something down, and then he shows it to her. You can see the group leaving the altar with the casket.
Yeah.
And you can see as their heads move by, you can see her in the middle. She looks down at it, and then her whole demeanor changes. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she nudges Jeb, and Jeb's all happy and giggly. Yeah. And he looks at it, and all the fucking color in his face is gone. And they're just fucking terrified.
What the fuck?
And Trump's looking at him, stern. It's weird.
Huh.
But I'll have to send those to you.
Yeah.
Shout out Long Dong Tong.
Yeah, Long Dong Tong. I still don't like Q, though.
No, I don't either, man.
Can't change my mind on that.
No.
Nah, fuck that. I ain't replacing one cabal with another.
I saw some Q posts the other day from a while back that kind of alluded to, we're in control, don't worry. When martial law happens, just do what you're told.
Jesus wept.
Yeah, so it'll just go to further reinforce my theory that a lot of these Trump supporters will be like, Trump needs our guns for freedom.
Yeah, turn them in.
Yeah, turn them in, we don't need them.
Only communists have guns.
Right. But anyway, I've had enough. I've had enough QAnon. I've had enough politics.
That's some we're always at war with the Eurasia shit. Like,
right?
What?
Can we get on to the interesting shit?
Yeah. Let's go.
Hollow Earth, inner Earth. I feel like there should have been a third one in there. Couldn't think of it.
Empty Earth. I don't know.
Empty on the inside. It's kind of like both of us.
Just like us.
Yeah.
Now, today's topic, and who did this come from originally? Do you remember? It was a newer listener who sent it to us.
I don't remember. Terrible.
I know. We're terrible
We
human
had
beings.
this like winter fog going on.
Yeah. But I mean, so you're listening out there, and you gave us this topic.
And we love you.
You know, you can go ahead and cuss us out on the socials if you want.
You guys are a bunch of dumbass bitches.
For not remembering your name.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop to look it up right now and be unprofessional.
Right.
I should have looked at it before we even fucking started.
Listen, it's 2019. It's the year of bones and tubs. We're gonna get better.
Yeah.
We're just grinding.
2019, getting better.
Yeah, we're getting better. Arguably better.
Yeah.
But give us time. Grow with us. Growing pains. Yeah. You know.
We got the first 100 out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, in podcasting terms, that's like getting out of like, you know, your childhood.
You start looking at episodes like 70 to 100.
Yeah.
That's like stepping up from, you know, bottom shelf liquor to, you know, pretty decent shit you can drink.
Maybe not quite all the way to the top shelf.
We're working the top shelf though.
We're working there.
But anyway, well, Hollow Earth. That's the theory.
The Hollow Earth theory.
Yeah.
Not a new theory by any means. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. The Greeks, the Mesopotamians, the Chinese, the fucking Egyptians. Yeah. Every culture, fuck the Irish, I forgot about them too. Mm-hmm. Every, like, culture around the world had theories about the fact that what was in there. You know what I mean? And a lot came to the conclusion that it wasn't just, like, solid rock, that it was cavernous, filled with holes so large that you could put cities inside of them.
We know there are large caves.
Yeah.
Science admits that 2/3 of all oceans are actually underground. What we see is only 1/3 of the oceans.
So
there's
vast.
That. Yeah. One of the craziest not flat Earth, Jesus wept.
Oh, my God.
One of the Hollow Earth theories that I like. Some earlier thinkers, they labeled it like a, kind of like a Russian doll. You know,
yeah,
it's just smaller versions of it inside itself, and each layer had its own atmosphere, pretty much. It had its own luminescence. It had its own heat, its own water, various cavernous sizes. And what was crazy, like, you know, that sounds fancy and shit, but if you look at all the fake NASA photos or real NASA photos, whatever you want to consider them, they all cover up the North and South poles. And when they don't, you see like a fucking hole on either side. Yeah, which is crazy. And you see, like, you can find videos of flyovers from Jupiter or Saturn. We just talked about Saturn not that long ago, but the perfect hexagon shape. Yeah. And that it moves in a counter rotation to the planet, which goes along with that theory of layers on the inside. The theory that the inner luminescence leaking out is actually what causes the aurora borealis. You know?
Yeah. Well, then I've heard other theories about the whole Hollow Earth thing, and that's that this is like a M. Night Shyamalan twist I like. I don't believe it, but I like it. Yeah. Is that we're actually inside the Earth.
Fuck.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, like, imagine, if you will, the grounds that we walk upon is the inside of the shell. Yeah. And that everything that you look up into the sky at is, like, the inner atmosphere of what we're seeing.
Yeah. The layer.
So, in theory, and it's so large that you can't see across it, it's just an empty space.
Yeah.
Interesting theory. I don't really believe it.
Well, I'm somewhere in between. I think I've said this before. I don't believe in the flat Earth.
No.
I also don't believe and buy into the geocentric model. You know what I mean? I feel like on one end you've got conspiracy, on the other end you've got propaganda.
Yeah.
So the Hollow Earth is what makes the most sense to me. Just simply because they cover up the fact that there's stuff going on at both poles.
Yeah.
This was first kind of illuminated in my mind. You care if I read this flight log?
Go ahead.
Admiral Byrd. This is his flight log from his journey to the North Pole. And as we've said in previous sentences, they're supposed to, if you know, the Hollow Earth theory is to be believed, there are entrances both on the South and North Poles. So anyway, his flight log from Base Camp Arctic 2/19/1947. 0600 hours. All preparations are complete for our flight northward, and we are airborne with full fuel tanks at 0610 hours. 0620. Fuel mixture on starboard engine seems too rich. Adjustment made, and Pratt Whitneys are running smoothly. 7:30. Radio check with base camp. All is well, and radio reception is normal. 7:40. Note, slight oil leak in starboard engine. Oil pressure sure indicator seems normal, however. 8 o'clock. Slight turbulence from easterly direction at altitude of 2321 feet. Correction to 1700 feet, no further turbulence. But tailwind increases. Slight adjustment in throttle controls. Aircraft performing very well now. 8:15. Radio check with base camp, situation normal. 8:30. Turbulence encountered. Increase altitude to 2900 feet. Smooth flight conditions again. 9:10. Vast ice and snow below. Note, coloration of yellowish nature and disperse in a linear pattern. Altering course for a better examination of this color pattern below. Note reddish and purple color also. Circle this area 2 full turns and return to assigned compass heading. Position check made again at base camp. And relay information concerning colorations and the ice and snow below. 0910 hours. Both magnetic and gyro compasses begin to gyrate and wobble. We are unable to hold our heading by instrumentation taking bearing with the sun compass. But yet all seems well. The controls are seemingly slow to respond and have sluggish quality, but there is no indication of icing. 9:15 hours. In the distance, what appears to be mountains. 9:49 hours. 29 minutes elapsed flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. This is no illusion. There are mountains, consisting of a small range that I have never seen before. 09:55 hours. Altitude change to 2950, encountering strong turbulence again. And we're at 10 o'clock. We are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward, as best as we can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth. 10:05. I alter altitude to 1400 feet and execute a sharp left turn to better examine the valley below. It is green with either moss or a type of tight-knit grass. The light seems different here. I cannot see the sun anymore. We make another left turn and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No! It looks like a mammoth. This is incredible, yet there it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definitely a mammoth-like animal. Report to base camp. 10:30. Encountering more rolling green hills now. The external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Continuing on our heading now. Navigation instruments seem normal. I am puzzled over their actions. Attempt to contact base camp. Radio is not functioning. 11:30 hours. Countryside below is more normal and level, if I may use that word. Ahead we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. Aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond. My God. Off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc-shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They are close enough now to see the markings on them. It is a type of swastika. This is fantastic. Where are we? What has happened? I tug at the controls again, but they will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some type. 11:35 hours. Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what appears to be a slight Nordic or Germanic accent. The message is, "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You are in good hands. I note the engines of our plane have stopped running. The aircraft is under some strange control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless." 11:40 hours. Another radio message received. We begin the landing process now, and in moments the plane shudders slightly and begins to descend, as though caught in some unseen great elevator. The downward motion is negligible, and we touch down with only a slight jolt. 11:45 hours. I am making a hasty last entry in the flight log. Several men approach on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a light shimmering city, pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me by my name to open the cargo door. I comply. End log. Goes on afterwards to describe one of his hosts speaking. "Have no fear, Admiral. You are to have an audience with the master." I step aside and my eyes adjust to the beautiful coloration of what seems to be filling the room completely. Because he was taken inside, I skipped that part. Not a professional. Then I began to see my surroundings. What greeted my eyes is the most beautiful sight of my entire existence. It is in fact too beautiful and wondrous to describe. It is exquisite and delicate. I do not think there exists a human term for what can describe it with any detail or justice. And then they start talking to him. They display their, eminence and their importance And he was left with a warning to come back and deliver it to the government.
What was the warning?
Don't come back. Now, he did 2 flights. The other one over the Antarctic, I think, if memory serves, was called Operation High Jump. That either predates or it's during World War II. And there was some intelligence to suggest that the Nazis were sending their people down there.
Yeah. I've heard these theories before, and also a big thing when it comes to the Hollow Earth, you get a lot of the North Pole, South Pole stuff.
Yeah.
In that too, involved with Nazis. And the other thing that I hear a ton when it comes to like doing my research for this Hollow Earth is that there's a big link with UFOs.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard in that log, he mentioned dish-shaped ships with swastikas on them.
Yeah. Problem.
Nazi aliens in space.
Yeah. We don't like Jews in space. But
yeah, I've definitely heard, because like the notion is that the UFOs aren't coming from space. They're coming from inside the Earth itself.
And if it goes with other things we've talked about, the, what was his name? Jack Parsons, working with NASA, the rocketry. Yeah. Friends of Aleister Crowley, and he was like talking about the space program and how Operation Paperclip was going, and they had all these Nazis working towards rocketry, right, and space flight. And Crowley laughed at him, and he was like, "You're not going to be able to get through that. You can't get out. Yeah. You have to open a portal." Yeah. Insert, blue spiral videos, all these things that appear to be portals opening in order to get out. And then, like, it even goes back to, like the Bible and stuff. There's like 6 different references in the Bible to what they call the firmament, which is like a glass structure or something solid to keep the waters out. There's water below our feet, water in the ocean, water above. Yeah. And the firmament, like a dome, keeps it out. Keeps it out. So there's nothing that comes from the outside, only comes from the inside. Crazy.
Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
There's been accounts throughout the entirety of human history about people exploring the inner parts of the Earth and finding cities. I mean, it's crazy because this one ties into a lot of different conspiracy circles. Yeah. Because I've also heard with UFOs, there's also the notion of Atlantis. Right. And the notion that Atlantis was never a continent that was above the ground. Yeah. That it was something under the ground. That it was, in fact, like, people want to put the proximity of Atlantis between Africa and the Americas, right? Because you have these civilizations that share these kind of architectural and same technologies at the time, and that it would make sense that this place would be between those 2 continents. But the unfortunate part is as far as we know and seen, there's nothing there. It's just, well, as I say, between Africa and the Americas, it's just a vast ocean.
Yeah, just an ocean somewhere
just
else.
The South Atlantic.
South Atlantic, just water.
But maybe underneath,
there's a lot of things to suggest that something is happening. This isn't what we were told it was.
I mean, even if like you just take like what I've seen, like personally, when it comes to like people exploring caverns inside the Earth. Like there's this fucking cavern in Mexico. It's a giant crystal cavern. Mm. It's huge. Yeah. And it's fucking, these crystals are like fucking, it looks like it's from some movie. It doesn't look real. It looks like fake.
Fiction, yeah.
Because it's so extravagant.
Yeah. Well, there was some scientific explorations I heard of where they did deep earth boring. And they went something like 10 or 30, somewhere in that range, miles down. Yeah. And they were finding at like depths, like 8 and 10 miles, they were finding fossils, all kinds of shit.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's just a wash.
Well, it's like they dug that giant hole. I want to say it was in Russia, 7.5 miles deep. Yeah. Right.
That's balls deep.
Fucking deep.
Yeah.
Right. And then find anything, and they're like, "Oh, there's your proof that there's no such thing as Hollow Earth." Mm. But here's the thing. This is the thing you got to remember. One, it may not necessarily be. When you think Hollow Earth, it may not be like completely and utterly hollow. Right. Right. But there might be spots that are like you say they built that 7.5 miles. What if they went another mile, they would have broken through? Yeah. You know what I mean? It reminds me of that picture of, there's 2 guys and they're in a hole, and one of them's just like sad and just like content, I guess, with just being stuck in the hole forever, while the other
fucking stuck here. Oh.
Or no, not that one. It's the one where they're both digging a hole. Yeah. One guy digs so far and never finds anything and just gives up, and he was literally inches away from finding a big vein of gold. Yeah. Right? it's that same thing. Like you may.
It's a good story. If you Google 3 feet from gold, you'll read what
And
he's talking about.
the other thing is we may not be finding the parts that you could get into because those are heavily protected.
Yeah, it's supposedly highly restricted too to get a hold of any deep earth penetrating radar. Like you can't, even if you or I were billionaires and we had the funds to get these things.
Yeah.
They're highly restricted because they don't want you to know what's under there.
No.
You know, that could be dumb, deep underground military base.
Yeah.
Or it could be like something entirely different because we know it's deep under there.
But yeah. So what could it be?
I don't know. Another interesting thing that I would urge you all to look at that we've looked at a couple of times, if you go to any available resources to see the population data on Antarctica, what do we come up with? Something like 1,200 at any given time.
Yeah.
Most scientists down there sciencing, doing science things.
Yeah.
And every country is represented in some way, shape, or form down there. But like you can find jobs for security contractors. Think Blackwater.
Yeah.
Except Aegis is what it's called. They will pay you.
That sounds like an evil organization right there.
Yeah. But Aegis is down there. There's a number of contractors that'll pay you, you know, some of the, it's similar to like the Middle East contractors where you're making like 120 grand a year just securitying.
Yeah.
You know? What are you?
Security for what?
Exactly.
You know? What's down there that we got to secure? What's in Antarctica? Yeah, that Admiral Byrd stuff sounds like so fucking like extraordinary. It sounds like some Cthulhu shit. Like
it also sounds like something that they wouldn't want you to believe if you heard it.
Yeah, what
if it was true.
Do you know anything else about like what happened when he came back? Did people call him a quack or?
I don't know. As far as I know, his flight log was. I mean, it wasn't just like something he kept on himself.
Yeah,
like it was given to his superiors. You know, he had a copy or he had it given back to him. Nobody mentioned it during his life. He was never shamed that I know of. We should do a whole show on Admiral Byrd sometime.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like a good idea because I personally, just as a person, but as a podcast, I feel like we would owe it to our listeners because I want to know the full Admiral Byrd story because I don't know it.
Yeah, as far as I know, he wasn't shamed or anything like that. And like I said, to the best of my knowledge, none of this came out until after he was dead.
Which intrigues me even more because that's some extra special shit to just like go below the radar like that.
You think if he was a quack, they'd be like, all right, look at this motherfucker. And they would do their best to shame him.
Nazi UFOs and master race Aryans fucking with tractor beams and shit, able to stop planes and fucking
1947, fuck off.
Yeah, like that shit sounds crazy.
Cray. But yeah. I don't know. If I had to put my dart on the board of things I believe, it's definitely closer to Hollow Earth than it would be to Flat Earth.
Yeah.
Or geocentric, that whole bullshit.
Yeah.
They change every now and then.
But yeah, I mean, I'll disregard the one Hollow Earth theory where we're already on the inside. I'm going to disregard that one. Because I just don't. My mind tells me, like, sometimes when you hear things like this, you have to apply Occam's razor.
Yeah.
We know some things to be self-evident and true, right? Like, there's no fucking way. Like, even in that space, there could be a fucking sun and a moon that just moved around in a rotation that would disappear and we wouldn't be able to see it at any given time.
Yeah.
You know?
Didn't they just discount gravity not that long ago?
Well,
wasn't it with there were like two neutron stars that were colliding toward each other, and the way that it happened, they found it wasn't so much gravity as it was particle-related densities?
Well, see, it just depends. Like, gravity is dependent on density and weight and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I believe they called it something related to it having something to do with, not so much as it being a force itself, but like a distortion in space-time. So it's like, how long have we believed gravity just as it was told? 300 years?
Yeah.
200 years? Something like that?
I mean, maybe
actually, that wasn't true.
Maybe the basis for what gravity was supposed to be is sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they understand that, like objects move in a certain direction based on the relative weight to whatever object it's moving around, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's way more to it than that. They've kind of gotten into that already, because even Einstein was like, it's less about, like, attracting things, more about displacement. Like, how much negative space is being displaced by this thing.
Right. Fuck Newton.
I like Newton.
I just thought
he was all about the Emerald Tablet.
I just want to shoot shots. I have no justification.
Newton was on that next level. We'll have to do an episode about him sometime soon, too.
For sure.
But yeah.
That's really all I got. We just did a little bit of, digging up some gemstones on our shovel and throw them in your lap.
Yeah.
Throw them in everybody's lap.
Figure out what they're worth anything or not,
Yeah, there's something there.
I think that about wraps it up for the show.
It's good.
We'd like to thank you all for listening. Why don't you go over to Patreon?
If you want to support us, that's how you do it.
Yeah. You're getting your fucking change back from the government here soon.
Change.
So you might as well take some of that change and put it towards the Bones and Tubs podcast.
We would greatly appreciate you. We love you already, but it would be more of a deeper love.
Yes. If you want to, you can go over to Instagram, check us out.
I've been putting the links to all of our things.
Yeah.
Into all of our things. So if you see the podcast on your feeder and go through the description, you'll find all of our links there. Gab, Oneway, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, all that.
Yeah. FYI, very soon here, we will be changing our feed over to a new podcast provider.
One that lets us know how many of you there are.
Yeah. So just FYI, down the road, we're going to remind you every day until it happens. And then hopefully you don't look at your phone one day.
Where'd they go?
I haven't seen a new episode in like 2 weeks. Well, that's because you didn't.
You just got to go to that search bar, type in Bones and Tubs Podcast, and it'll be there again.
Yeah.
Just delete the old, out with the old, in with the new. 2019. Yeah.
So
newer version of us.
Check us out on that Instagram. Hey, you want some merchandise? There's a link on there for that.
You want to see pictures of me in underwear on Fallout 76 playing a banjo?
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah. If you want to come join us in the world of Fallout 76, we're on there occasionally.
You want to watch Aaron the Red Dupin stuff?
Yeah.
He'll come watch him.
I go by Tubbs Podcaster, and he goes by Bones and Tubbs Podcast, so we're pretty easy to find.
Yeah. What's Aaron's name? Isn't it like Big...
Soul Reaper 07.
Oh, I thought it was Big Dick Daddy from Cincinnati. I couldn't remember.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Must be somebody else.
But let's thank y'all for listening. We hope y'all had a good Christmas and New Year's, and we hope to hear from you next week.
Buckle up for 2019. We love you.
We really do.
It's a complete reversal. It's the last rehearsal. passion.